Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to World Online Racing with me, George Morgan, and also Miles. We are here at Bahrain, Miles, Sakir International Circuit. It feels like we were there only yesterday, or were we?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, we were in the real F1, but now it's probably the best league on Xbox at the moment for WOR, and really excited. I can't wait for it to start.
Absolutely. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I can already hear the notifications spiraling through. Everyone's really excited for this one, of course. Formula One back at the sandy circuit of Bahrain. We can't rate it. And as you can see, the standings after last week's sensational showdown at Australia, it was absolutely brilliant. Antoine, who of course managed to get the victory there for Red Bull, absolutely brilliant stuff, plants himself on the top of the Drivers' Championship. 25 points in the offing. Closely in behind him, CRG Smasher as well. But it looked like Antoine was just simply too good on the day.
He was, yeah. I mean, he just managed that to perfection. It was a thrilling race, although it was Australia and in the wet, where you're not supposed to see that many overtakes. But Antoine was really on the top of his game, and I mean, he said last week as well in the interviews after the race that Bahrain and Australia are probably his strongest tracks. So, will we see Antoine just having the edge over everyone else once again? Probably, because I mean, he said he's strong around here, so I think we can trust him in that.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I have to say, we're very lucky to have a very, very talented array of drivers here at WOR. It certainly has been sensational, a great start to the season. I have to say, a few names that maybe we didn't expect at the top end, albeit we've seen a few that maybe are down below. But points across the table currently are as they are right now. Obviously, we're only one race in. It's a long season ahead. Plenty of racing yet to come. Today is just the tip of the iceberg. We're only the second round into the championship. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed much. We've still got a whole calendar sending us down to the grand finale at Brazil. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. We cannot wait to bring it to you. And if we can have a look at some of these names, of course, obviously we've spoken about Antoine, but how about CRG Smasher? Was approximately off the, well, just a little bit off the pace. He was consistently around about 1.5 seconds back from Antoine, but after going into the last stage of the race, it looked like Smasher managed to gain a little bit more in the pit stop. He just could not cultivate a challenge on the day, could he?
Yeah, not really, but I mean, he still was there or thereabout, and he wasn't really satisfied with his race, so he wants to bounce back once those 25 points that are on the table today. And I could see him also challenge for those 25 points today. But, I mean, we have such a packed grid, such a great grid at our hands here today, once again. Although there are some guys missing, which is quite unfortunate. But, I mean, it should be a full grid, if I'm not mistaken. So, should be a thrilling race either way. And, yeah, like we say so many times, I can't really wait for this race to start. So many great drivers that haven't even scored that many points. I mean, just look at LVA Brown only scoring 4 points last race, and he's also one of the top guys. So I just can't wait. Syrah, who's also making his debut for this season, who couldn't race last week due to some connection issues. So he also will be one who will challenge for the top spots, and I just can't wait to see or find out who will be on pole position and also challenge for the race win here today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fascinating contest, folks, of course, and hopefully we won't see too much track limits brought into question. Certainly notable around turn 4. That was certainly the hot topic of the Bahrain Grand Prix yesterday. Actually could have decided the race win for Lewis Hamilton yesterday, but it was very poignant, that's for sure, and certainly raised a lot of debate on Twitter, of course. I want to say, obviously, a big thank you to everyone who's shown up here tonight. Of course, please leave your comments in the chat box. Myself and Miles will, of course, I'm sure, message you back, or at least add some comments as to whatever you have got to say about today's racing, of course, and what you think of the championship. Who are your predictions heading into this Bahrain Grand Prix? We're very lucky to have a very accomplished grid here today, and I have to say, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Obviously, do bear with us. We're very soon about to get the race, or certainly qualifying, underway. Obviously, short quali format here at WOR. But don't forget as well to check out the socials. You can obviously check out WOR. They're on Twitter. Be sure to check them out as well on Twitch. They've got other leagues very active there on the Twitch service. But of course here at YouTube, this is Top Tier Central. This is where you're going to see Xbox Tier 1 and PlayStation 4 Tier 1 on Fridays. We were very unfortunate not to have the Tier 1 PS4 race on Friday due to a little issue with the PSN network. It unfortunately wouldn't allow us to connect, obviously, to the game. We're still not quite sure what occurred on that occasion, but rest assured, we will be running at Australia very, very soon on that platform, and we will be bringing you live action of the Bahrain Grand Prix on the PlayStation 4 as well, so do keep it with us as well. But I have to say, just before we get into the nitty-gritty, I think it's only fair that we take a look at a hot lap. Hello there folks, welcome back to WOR World Online Racing, back on your screens here, and we're riding on board with Antoine for his hot lap around Bahrain here at the Sakhir International Circuit. This is round 2 of our Xbox tier racing, and obviously PlayStation as well on Fridays, as we witness him now heading round the final corner now to commence his hot lap. He's going to very shortly hammer the DRS, does so, activates it, comes across the line to commence this lap. Now bursting down past the paddock straight, he'll then lend himself down towards the 100 metre mark, in between the 100 and the 50, breaks down late and turns in, gets extra rotation down to 1, back out now, quick shift up to 3, 4, 5, and now 6. Burst down the straight once again, DRS is active for him, makes his way down towards the next right-hander, this time at turn 4, cuts inside after taking a lot of the curb inside now, brakes, takes a lot of the curb on the outside of that auspicious turn, veering around the sweeping bends of 5, 6 and 7 in 6th gear, now quickly up to 7th, now he goes purple in sector 1, around the next right-hander. Now this one is turn 8 on the outset. Quick shift up the 4th, 5th and 6th and 7th. He'll now want to take his foot off the power, just ease the car around turns 9 and now turns 10. Do not want to get caught heavy braking on that, you will spin. DRS now active once again on this car, heading down towards what will be turn 11 and heading into the final sector of this track here at Bahrain. Now into the last stages now, leading round this next left, swinging right-hander next as well. This being of course turn 12 before he reaches turn 13. He's purple again in sector 2. Now runs wide out of that sector, hits a lot of the curb, bursting down the sandy straight now, down towards turn 14. This is like a double-edged curb. Brakes just after the 100 metre mark, down to 3rd, up to 4th, and now on the outset, waits for the DRS to turn green and hits it, and there he goes, past the paddock straight, and it's going to be a comfortable 124.134. Absolutely brilliant stuff, purple across the lap, and very well done indeed. Welcome back, folks, and I have to say a great top up there from last week's winner, Antoine. As we've said before, a cracking performance at Australia, and we'll have to see whether he can do the double. Obviously, 2 from 2 would put Red Bull in a very advantageous position, I have to say, and we'll have to wait and see what happens here at Bahrain. Of course, a very different circuit to what Australia is like. Obviously, Australia, more of a flat surface, not too many undulations. Very different story here at Bahrain, isn't it, Miles? Obviously, lots of undulations, plenty to be concerned about. That bend going into turn 10 is so dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about turn 10 because that might be probably one of the most tricky corners on the circuit, or is the trickiest corner on the circuit. So I'm pretty sure we will see a lot of lockups going into this corner, which we also saw in the real F1. So yeah, they're not better than we are. So yeah, can't wait to find out. Also, the very, very interesting section leading up to the end of sector 2 with this long left-hander followed by this long right-hander where you don't want to clip the inside curb because that could spin your car out, so you also have to be careful there. Track limits shouldn't be that concerning for this time. But maybe we will see one or two warnings or one or two guys who actually get a penalty, which could cost them in the end. We said that last week as well, but especially in a grid like this, with not that many penalties being applied, I could see some drivers getting a penalty and then dropping like 2, 3, 4, 5 positions.
Absolutely. And one mistake, and you could be thrown into obscurity. The CRG Smasher just could not do the business against Antoine, but we're at a very different track here today, and it very could hold, or very, very likely could hold all the answers that Smasher's looking for in order to cultivate himself a positive performance here at Bahrain. And we will wait and see, obviously, to see whether he can actually pull this off. It's going to be very interesting to say the least, and we're going to wait with bated breath indeed as we now witness the Racing Point just rushing round turn 10. And very likely now to make his way down towards turn 11. This, of course, if you catch this one off guard, very easy to do. You don't want to be clipping any of the curbs heading around here. Like I said, very sandy circuit here at Bahrain, and slippery for different reasons, of course. You tend to associate the loose traction to do with wet weather tracks, but certainly in a dry track such as this, the sand is actually your worst enemy here.
It is, yeah, and that could also play into the hands of some of those guys, especially. I mean, we always talk about the device topic with the pad against the wheel, especially last week when there was rain involved. But also here, I mean, there are interesting traction zones which can benefit the pad a bit, but also the change of direction, which benefits the wheel. So that will also be a talking point, and we will see that in the race as well, who can come out on top. And also, George, what I find quite interesting here is as Smasher ran very wide there. It's not even invalid. So he can carry on now into turn 4, that very interesting corner from yesterday. Not going wide there. But also something which I find quite interesting around here is the strategy, because most guys, as there's a wild Alfa Romeos parked up on the left-hand side, most guys will go from the softs to the hards and then try to go to the end, but that's a long stretch because especially on this track, tire wear is quite severe, and could see some guys get a puncture if they pit too early, if they have to stretch their tires, also if they get a wing damage or any kind of that stuff. If they have to pit a bit earlier, they can get into very dangerous situation where they could suffer from a puncture. So the alternate strategy around here is quite good, and I could see someone go for P11, which I like to call little pole position on many tracks, and go from the hards to the mediums, just because you don't have to worry about tire wear as much as first times coming in. Antoine now also going into P1 and continuing where he left off last week.
Yeah, I have to say, great time indeed by Antoine. Certainly seems to be, or certainly does have a hold on this circuit, and Smasher down in P5 as well. There's still plenty of other cars out on track. WOR Nico as well making his way down the stretch now in the Ferrari. Perondi just notches himself up to P7. LVA Brown P5. Sinkrich after that great performance in P4 as well. Still a long way to go in qualifying though, so obviously we'll wait and see how the times fare. And of course a lot of these are going to be very initial bursts to set the trends. Nico up in the P5, relegates LVA Brown Smasher. Florian moves his way up into P5, the Mercedes. They're joining TRL Limitless this week, and as you can see, that's a very, very good team, certainly a very good combination. VRT Lily up into P3 as well. Red Bull looking in superb form at the moment. Currently topping the Constructors' billing. 35 points to get their season underway. Not bad at all. That actually sets them clear by 14 points to Williams, who are down in P2. So a positive performance for Red Bull could once again tip the scale here, Miles. And obviously very important in the context of a long season.
Of course, yeah, definitely. But Lily is one of the reserve drivers here today as well, because Jonas is not taking part in this race, which could be crucial. I mean, Antoine, I don't know if that's the rule, but I think Antoine is the only one allowed to score any points for the team. So he has to carry that flag by his own for today's race. But still, Lily in the second Red Bull, which could play into Antoine's hands as well. If he's doing a bit of team play, although they are not technically on the same team. That could provide crucial, but yeah, of course you want to score as many points as possible, and to do that early in the season, so you can carry that momentum over into the second half of the season is very crucial. And Red Bull had a very, very good race. Antoine getting 25 points, Jonas getting 10, so 35 points, you said it, and in front of Williams with 21 and Racing Point with 19. They have that momentum at the moment, and Antoine has that pole position at the moment. So yeah, that could be very, very crucial for the Red Bull team to carry that momentum over into the whole season.
Yeah, very, very well said indeed. Certainly Red Bull currently with the advantage. And here comes Ronha, another man who's well in the mix of a battle here. And I have to say I was very impressed with him until unfortunately he had a late spin, which certainly did not help proceedings. He was very much in the fight as he goes P1 with a 124.358. Now, if that is not a good case of mind games there, just to make Antoine think a little bit, this Ferrari is certainly a presence here on track here in WOR. Very impressive by Ronha, and representing Ferrari very well indeed. Obviously currently with no points, so they could very likely score really big points here today, as long as they can cultivate a good performance out of qualifying. There's still plenty of laps to be had on this track. Of course, here comes Sparks, another man in the Alfa Romeo. Teammate with CRG Pinecone, two very, very good talents. Sparks, of course, lighting things up, if you pardon the pun, as he makes things round. Oh, a little bit of understeer, in fact, as we just joined him, and I get the feeling I cannot help but think I gave him the commentator's curse. He rounded heading into turn 4, and that was very unlucky indeed. He ended up sending it wide, entering the kitty litter, and now he's weaving through the winding sections in 5, 6, and 7. Not the best way to start your hot lap there, Miles.
Yeah, and also in his first lap, he spun just where he was, just approaching turn 8. So not a good start for him. So he has to, collect his thoughts and go out again on a set of soft tires. Question is also, how many soft tires does he have? What's the used set of soft tires? As McCabe Sam runs wide, and that's his lap invalidated. So McCabe Sam and Sparks not up for a good start here at the moment, but I mean, we are only 8 minutes into this qualifying session. Everything's still to play for. Ronha snatching provisional pole position from Antoine was a good mind game, like you said. So Antoine has to pounce back now, and is about to start his lap, and he just did start his lap. So let's see what he can do once again. Some drivers not setting a lap time yet, which is quite surprising to me, but maybe they want to leave it late.
Yeah, could well do. TRL Limitless as well as Sparks back in the pit lane. Leopard, who hasn't come out yet, neither is Dabbers in, or he hasn't set a lap at least. I think he did do a slowdown lap and entered the pit lane. Sam McCabe as well. McCabe Sam, shall I say, yet to come out onto track, but here's his teammate, CRG Smasher, who's now making his way around into Sector 3 and coming out of Sector 2 now. We'll have to see what his time garners him. Of course, currently P9, 24.980. So currently out by approximately 0.6 of a second, but I'm sure that this man will have no problem making his way up higher through the echelons of this classification as he now rounds turn 14 and 15. The Pink Panther looking to lodge itself up on top spot after being in second last time out. Dives into the pit lane, obviously not happy with the lap set there. We'll wait and see whether he can improve. Once again, Lefted coming across the line in P11 for Pass. For the back, CRG Pinecone, the other Alfa Romeo out on track. Let's see if he can notch together a positive time, as we're now seeing Antoine go a little bit quicker. I think that was his time that we just put across as he now makes his way around the next right-hander. In fact, no, he's about to set his time now. Can he go quicker and go ahead of Ronha as he comes up across the line past the Panic? And he does go P1 at 124.230. And that is just over, or just under, I think a tenth and a half of a second. So I have to say, incredible stuff there. Antoine doing the business, notching himself above. And I get the feeling it's going to be a little bit of tick-a-tacker heading through qualifying, which is great to see, because it certainly allows to see a lot of drama. And that's exactly what we like from qualifying.
Definitely, yeah, and we saw that hot lap from Antoine, that was a 24.1, so there's still some time to find for Antoine, but also for the other guys. And talking about Ronha, Sira as well, Scritch was also in a very, very fast lap, but now had to go into the pits because he extended, I think, the final corner, which you don't want to see, of course. So he had to come into the pits and fill another set of tires. As now Lilly goes into P4 once again. So the Red Bulls, like you said, they are looking very, very strong. Quite a busy track at the moment, and now most of the guys in the that haven't set a lap time are out. Only Limitless and Sparks are in the pits at the moment. So one of the Mercedes and one Alfa Romeo, who I don't know if that's a setup issue. Sparks had there twice now, but yeah, really has to collect his thoughts and yeah, set a lap time. He did phenomenal. If you don't mind saying me saying that on Friday in TSRL, so did Leopard. So really curious to see what both of them can do, as Leopard now invalidates once again. So Leopard once again trying to come over his race pace and yeah, just trying to yeah, have that race pace take him through the grid once again. Sparks as well, I think. Devizin is out on track as well, and he has some traffic ahead of him, but will come towards the end of his lap now.
Absolutely, and I got to say, we're just watching this man Leopard as well as on track, of course, who has yet to score his first points this season after a bit of a sobering first race. And I have to say, we do expect a lot from this man. He has certainly been on the end of many twists and tails, certainly with the likes of TRL Limitless. They've had many championship battles in the past, lots of tangles that have been absolutely brilliant to watch. And he's now making his way down towards the next right. Speaking of TRL Limitless, he's now out on an outlap too. So we haven't seen a lot of drivers. Still plenty out there to set times. Bobbitt's one of them as well. Sparks, of course, who invalidated earlier, as we now witnessed Leopard coming into the pit lane, not happy with that lap either. McCabe Sam out on track 2 for the Racing Point. Of course, the CMate CRG Smash, like we discussed earlier, also out on a lap, currently in P11. McCabe Sam will be looking to at least try and notch himself higher up the proceedings. I think that's actually his teammate Smasher in front of him right now. He's already rounded turn 10, and there he is indeed. So they're both in tandem, rushing down the long stretch, down towards what would be turn 11. And it's going to be so crucial to get this right. Just looking at Smasher now to see whether he's looking to go quicker again. In fact, he's on a slow lap. So we're now witnessing McCabe Sam come round. He's not on a slow lap. He's going to be looking to go quick as he comes around the next right-hander, trying to set a light up here as Ronha once again goes quicker. 124.124. And that is spectacular. He is here to stay, I believe, Miles.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, getting the better of Antwerp. So a bit of a ding-dong battle between those two for pole position as now Smasher comes across the line. Slotting into P3, let's see what his teammate can do. Into P5. So once again, the Racing Points really on top of their game. We saw that in Australia as well. So yeah, definitely one team to watch out for, or to look out for this race. Also, something I wanted to point out, yeah, okay, Limitless just started his lap, and Critch is also on his lap. Let's see if he invalidates once again. Let's hope that will not be the case. But also, what I wanted to point out, Viper, still in P16. I think he was driver of the day last week in Australia when he made some incredible overtaking maneuvers, and came home P4, all the way from the back of the grid, I think. So definitely someone who we have to keep our eyes on as well when it comes to the race, because his race pace seems to be much stronger than his qualifying pace at the moment. Losing the back end there, and now Critch losing the back end there once again, coming out of the final corner, still wants to go over the line and does so, goes into P8, just behind his teammate Perondi. Very interesting stuff and very close indeed.
Yeah, TR Limitless as well coming around the final corner. DRS opens up for the Mercedes. Comes across the line, and he only sets a P15 time of 125.576. Tactical maneuver. You get the feeling, Miles?
He slowed down there, yeah. That's for sure. That's a tactical maneuver. Just getting one lap in now. We'll dive it into the pits, fit another set of soft tires, and we'll try to go for P11 because, like I said, that's kind of the little pole position you can have on this track, and go for the alternate strategy. So that could be a very, very tactical move, and we know from Limitless his race intelligence always keeps him at the top of his game, and he could do that once again here today. 3 minutes on the board, not that many people out on track. Peroni just rounding the final corner. Let's see if he can improve. Opening the DRS, and I think he thought about going into the pits, but getting the better there of Lily, slotting into P6 and onto the third row of the grid. Who's out on track at the moment? Not that many guys. Most of them are either on an outlap or, just on their in lap.
Yeah, well, one man who is on an outlap and about to commence his hot lap is Leopard, just making his way down towards turn 14 now. DRS detection zone will open up here at this point, and the Renault now making its way down the stretch very soon to start his flying lap, and we're right on board here with Leopard for his hot lap here around the Bahrain circuit of Sakir, as he now makes his way down towards turn 1, breaks in between 100 and the 50, down towards the more 100 mark, locks up the right-handed tyre, but that won't concern him too much. Out of turn 2, and now heading into turn 3. Now DRS will open up here, and making his way down the stretch, leading towards turn 4. And soft tyres applied, he should have lots of grip, comes into the bend now, takes a lot of the left-hander, and makes his access easier, heading around turn 4, heading into turn 5, 6, and now 7. Sync Richard tyres for the session, he's happy in P8, that might will change though, with a minute and a half remaining. Plenty of drivers still out on laps or out laps and hot laps to say, as we're now witnessing witnessing Leopard coming around turns 9 and 10, severe lock up there, heading around that bend, easy to do, especially when you're reaching your way around this next left, as we're now witnessing the Renault car now bombing down towards turn 11. And you'll take a lot of the right-handed curbs again. You want to take a lot of the curbs, certainly from many of these corners. Lots of them are a very progressive bend that you just need to ease the car into. Yellow flags being waved here in sector 3. Hopefully that won't complicate things too much. Tyrrell Limitless retires in P15. Interesting manoeuvre there for the Mercedes. Did not see him go back out again. So obviously that means that is where he's going to stay, as he's now making his way down towards the next right-hander. Leopard looking to go quicker, at least land his car off the back end of the grid order as he makes his way up. Not sure how quick this is going to be, but he comes up across the line. What's it going to be? P13. Very, very well done indeed. Very close again, looking for that P11 spot. And you get the feeling that reverse strategy is key here, Miles. You are quite right.
Yeah, it is. And Leopard saw that or did that to perfection on Friday, and now wants to do the same here today, as Nico is currently holding that P11. So that's your little pole position. So having the normal pole position and the little pole position for the Ferrari boys at the moment. So also not the worst strategy. Antoine is about to set his lap. I think he's coming to that penultimate corner. Yeah, this long right-hander, but he has backed out of that. What is Smasher doing? Smasher is... Oh, he just started his lap, so never mind. He's down by 0.2 of a second. So is there still room for improvement? And there he goes, spinning, coming from the curb, and not able to collect the car there. Having to let everyone go by, and just seeing everyone go with like 180 kilometers per hour towards you. Surely not the best side you want to see in qualifying.
No, certainly the curbs here at Bahrain are slightly raised and very dangerous if you do land yourself on there. Not to mention the track being so sandy, it can really cause you problems. As now Lily comes up across the line, can he improve as he makes his way across the checkered flag line? No, he can't. He stays in P7. And just looking further up as well, Sam McCabe heading around the third sector shortly now. He's just winding his way through the winding section. Now the next right-hander now. He's in sector 3 proper. And let's see if the racing point cars can land themselves somewhere at the top end once again. Of course, CRG Smasher doing them proud right now. P3, second row of the grid. Can McCabe Sam join him there as well? And tell you what, would be something to sight for sore eyes for Racing Point if they can land a blow here as he comes across the line, joins his teammate there on the second row of the grid. Incredible stuff. And Sparks is on a lap as well. He actually gets P12. Brilliant there from Sparks. And sensational to say the least. Pinecone looking to do the same as he crosses the DRS line now. Across the line, P12. And trims his teammate, Trucks Nico as well. And he joins Viper on that same row of the grid. Sensational stuff here, to say the least.
It was, definitely very, very nice and very, very close as well. Nico setting the same lap time as Pinecone did, but Ronha getting pole position. But George, crucially, he just left the session. I'm trying to get him back. I hope I have the right profile of him to get him back, but he gets pole position from Antoine and McCabe Sam. So very close indeed, also, especially between Antoine and McCabe. Smasher not able to improve on his lap time there on his final run. But just look down the grid. All the way to P18 there within one second. And I mean, Limitless we know he could have gotten into there as well. But he now has to start from P19. Surely not where he wanted to be, but yeah, let's see what he can do. Surely a very interesting or entertaining race, let's put it that way, for his viewers over on his stream.
Absolutely, and he's going to have a lot of work to do to try and rise himself off that bottom end of the classification. It's going to be a lot of fun for TR Limitless to actually make his way through. Obviously, turn one is so crucial, as we've said quite rightly before. You tend to find a lot of cars chucking it down the inside or or taking the outside line. And I have to say, we'll have to see if there's any Yuki Tsunoda-style moves heading out on that track here today. It's certainly going to be absolutely batty here at Bahrain. We cannot wait for it. Obviously, thank you ever so much to everybody who's commenting in the chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome to WOR. It's a pleasure to be back here on the Xbox side, of course, and a pleasure to be here with you on your Monday evening. I hope you're all having a good one, and it's great to have you on board. Obviously, we're waiting to see whether Ronha can get himself back in the lobby. Of course, he's currently P1 on the grid, and will obviously want to be there in order to cultivate a positive result after that brilliant showing in qualifying as well. He's looking to bring the fight now to Antoine, who's also joining him on the front row of the grid. It's going to be absolutely a tantalising affair to see how these two get on leading in towards turn one. Antoine was so impressive, and he certainly has impressed all of us here at WOR after that incredible result at Australia. It certainly was a marvel to watch. And we're looking forward to seeing some more, to say the least. Of course, if you have any sort of predictions yourselves, please obviously tell us in the chat box. We will make them known here on the, certainly here in the box. I'm just seeing there, Caden Easton, Ron Hart in the mud right now. Certainly, we hope not. We want to see a huge battle down towards turn one, that's for sure. Certainly between him and Antoine. Antoine coming into this in great form, as we've discussed. A great hot property here in WOR right now, as we're now watching the cars make their way out on the formation lap. We'll be right back with you very, very shortly. Welcome back, folks. We are here on the formation lap as we now witness Ronha, or his car at least, make its way around the grid order. And as you can see, he still has not got back in the car just yet. We are waiting to hear word as to when he will be back. As you can see, his AI is taken over, and you can tell that from the way the cars are looming past him here. I'm actually looking now as they round the next right, and as they do so, you can see there that Antoine leading them round. Turn 10. They're about to make their way down towards turn 11. Very crucial to get the tyres right here. This is the predicted pit stop strategies. 2 stops applied here on the circuit. Double soft onto mediums later on, or you can try and do a soft onto the hards as well. But I have to say, as we now watch them make their way around into Sector 3 proper, obviously grip is going to be of the essence. Might take a couple of laps in order to get these tyres up to speed, Miles. So it's going to be a test of patience for a lot of these guys too.
Definitely, and yeah, I don't know about Ronha at the moment, but that doesn't look good for the time being. He's just look at the track map. He's all the way down and just having like 8 seconds to the next car on the grid. Let's hope he can take over that Ferrari and can start from pole position. But yeah, like you said, split strategies throughout the whole grid, which is no surprise to me. I said that earlier. All the guys outside the top 10 will start on the hard tires. That's what they're doing. So yeah, really curious to see if one of them can actually hold the gap to the soft compound runners, because they will be flying in the first couple of laps. But hard compound tires will get into the temperature window, and yeah, sooner or later they will be the better tire to be on. And maybe we can see some of those guys making the overcut stick. Let's wait and see. I don't know if Ronha is back. Let's hope he is. And over to you for the start.
Thank you very much, Miles. Obviously, Antoine will be hoping that this will be a nice, easy entrance for him going into turn 1. But as they now make their way on the grid, leave your predictions in the chat box, folks. And here we go for the race. Now waiting patiently for these lights. First light, second light, third light, fourth light, the 5th light. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. Ronha gets away okay. I've got to see a little bit of grip loss there. But as you can now see, Antoine with the inside line into turn 1 at the favourable section of the grid. But Ronha struggling for pace right now in behind McCabe Sam. Look at him move. Ronha has spun. Ronha points up in tandem. What a start. LVA Brown in the distance as well. 3 wide, heading into the next bend at turn 4. And indeed, Perondi and Critch, wheel to wheel. The two teammates did even nothing on the track, that's for sure. As you can now see them rounding that right-hander. Sensational from Critch. He holds on. In behind Lily as well, trying to gather some places. Dammers is there too. Syrah is dispatched down as well. But as you can now see them, Antoine still leads the way, following on from a sensational start to his season. And it's still P1 for Antoine, smashing in behind Sam McCabe in P3. What a start here, Miles.
Yeah, just look at Antoine. He's just running away already. 1.6 seconds to gap to Smasher, but great start from both of the racing points. Quite unfortunate for Ronha. I think he had very, very cold tires there at the start, and yeah, lost out then massively. Very unfortunate for him, but apart from that, very interesting start. Viper into P10. Limitless and his teammates switching positions. Left it already retired. I don't know why that is. Yeah, very, very, very good start there from Antoine. Leaving nothing on the table for anyone to grab. So yeah, very deserved into P1, as now there's a timing glitch. So don't let yourself confuse, I would say. Syrah is still where he was, but not on the timing screens on the left-hand side. He's not down in P16. So let's wait and see. Once everyone finished the first sector, we will see where everyone actually is on track. So Viper is also not in P7. So don't let yourself be confused by that. As Brown is looking very strong at the moment, setting his eyes onto McCabe Sam for P3. So yeah, let's wait and see what Brown can do. Critch is also not that far behind, and Syrah is also looking very strong indeed. Yeah, very interesting. And DRS train will be formed on the next lap. Let's wait and see who will make the first DRS overtake around here.
Yeah, some wheel-to-wheel action between Lily and Perondi. I have to say, both of them giving each other lots of grace, heading around turns 9 and 10. Spectacular to watch, as Lily now making his way up through P7, trying to close up now on Syrah, who's currently in P6. Sing Critch holding on to P5, nearly losing out to Syrah early on in the lap. McCabe Sam is still behind his teammate Smasher, and Antoine doing exactly what he did last time. Remember, it was himself and Smasher who were leading the fray at the top at Australia, and once again we're witnessing the same thing here, only this time he sprung up a 2-second lead on Smasher in the first few laps. Sensational. Remember, it was 1.5 seconds last week. Obviously feels more at home here in Bahrain, no fear for the Red Bull, at least for now. But one can only imagine what Ronha could have done if he was in his car. Limitless now making his way up through the grid order as well. He's currently going wheel to wheel with Ronha, of course, who is not in his car as far as we're aware. But he cuts inside, able to defend against Tiara Limitless, and certainly very interesting to see. He manages to dispatch Nico. Limitless has managed to raise himself up a couple of places since the start. Obviously, we're not sure whether Ronha is back in his car, but he certainly has found a little bit of pace. So I'm not sure what we're seeing, whether it's the case that the Ghost has suddenly picked up the crumbs and started to lay the smackdown upon the back end of this classification, or whether Ronha is now starting to lay into the hands of Dominic. And it'll be a great recovery drive if he can do just that, as we can now see. I've got confirmation, in fact, from BT Development there in the chat. Thank you ever so much. Ronha is back in the car, so I'm sure with his pace now, he'll want to dispatch the rest of these guys as soon as possible.
If that was AI, then credit to Codemasters, but that was a sensational move there by Ronha, going 3 wide with his teammate, and now also getting in front of Dominic there for P14. So a bit of a recovery drive there for Ronha, which is the thing he has to do. Nico just going backwards in his race, his teammate, so not a great start for him. But just look at the front. Antoine is just running away with his race. 2.5 seconds is the gap to Smasher, and that was a very, very crucial one. Ronha spinning just caused Smasher not to have the best of exits out of turn 1 and 2 to actually get as close as he would have liked to Antoine. And if you lose the DRS, it's very, very critical because you can't really regain that one. 3 DRS straights we have on this track, so Smasher probably more has to focus on McCabe Sam behind rather than on Antoine ahead of him, as now there was a coming together, I think, between Nico and Florian at the back. P18 and P19, surely not what you want to see if you're either a Mercedes fan or Ferrari fan. So yeah, let's wait and see what they can do, if they can reattach themselves to the train that is happening from Smasher onwards all the way to the back of the grid.
Yeah, Ronha really making steps here, overtaking Leopard, heading around the next right. Now as they make their way down towards turn 9, still Ronha owning his spot there, and Leopard unable to challenge on that occasion. Of course, Mercedes in unknown territory as we see Dominic go wide there, heading around turn 10 as they make their way towards turn 11. Leopard not leaving the rear of Ronha. He might actually consider getting a toe off those soft tyres. It would actually help him if he can actually utilise the DRS here and try and follow that Ferrari. Maybe he can add a little bit of drag and pull that Renault along, and that's exactly what I'd imagine Leopard would want, and certainly spring a little bit of extra performance out of those hard tyres. Let's wait and see if he does utilise that. As Brown currently in P4, currently just 4 tenths in behind McCabe Sam as they now make their way past the paddock straight now, commencing their lap 5 of 29. Here already early on in the race we've seen plenty of action. Of course, not ideal to have Ronha going down the bottom. We would have liked to have seen a title battle, or certainly a battle between him and Antoine, and got very close with LVA Brown and McCabe Sam. That's the battle for third place, and the Haas very nearly doing the business. Of course, Haas, who has scored a solitary 4 points so far this season after round 1, currently ahead of Mercedes, who are on 1 point. But I have to say, excellent to see nonetheless. Brown really close to McCabe Sam, nearly getting his window of opportunity heading around turn 1. But Racing Point sitting pretty, Ps 2 and 3. Great points for their Constructors' title hopes.
Yeah, of course, Brown doing the best job he can, and there was a bit of a look into turn 1, and we saw that on screen. And I think it was just he was a bit confused that McCabe Sam, put his braking point at that particular point and wasn't braking a bit later. So I think it wasn't even a supposed move by Brown, but surely he knows that he could go quicker than McCabe Sam and Smasher. Also, Leopard and Ronha going in tandem at the moment, going by Sparks, who really had some troubles holding his car together. Once again, we saw that so many times in quali already, but now in the race to have that oversteery car surely doesn't help if you're in a battle. That was a bit of a reminder of yesterday with Hamilton and Verstappen. Sparks going wide, not able to hold the car though, so he didn't get in front. Leopard doing a stellar job there and overtaking when Ronha opened up the gap and took this opportunity going into P13 and just clinging onto the back of the Ferrari, who surely is a bit faster than Pinecone and Viper up ahead. So just letting him reattach to that train that is there and using that to good effect. So very intelligent there once again from Leopard, and it's getting very close once again for P3 there. Brown is really showing himself in the mirrors of that Racing Point up ahead and really wants to go by, and just look at the train that there's behind. So all those guys, they are faster.
Yeah, you could almost say that Smasher is doing a disservice to his teammate McCabe Sam right now, who's having to hold back the tide because LVA Brown is literally cruising all over the rear of him. Antoine has said, tally ho, I'm off. He's 3.6 seconds ahead, and I have to say, absolutely loving life there. And certainly Smasher in behind has had to cope with his own teammate there down the long stretch at the home straight. Obviously McCabe Sam could have opened the door and potentially made a move, but obviously the Racing Points working together here, looking to cultivate a positive performance, certainly in terms of constructors standings points. They're currently in P3 in the championship, 19. This will go a long way to their championship hopes. Should they finish in Ps 2 and 3. So we'll have to wait and see how the strategy unfolds. Of course, what this allows is obviously Antoine to check out here on those soft tyres. 3.7 seconds is a mammoth of time to be ahead, as we're now seeing LVA Brown now under pressure. Now, we're certainly adding the pressure on McCabe Sam, who goes defensive, heading around turn 1. The 2 Racing Points certainly working together here, and this is sensational to watch. So round turns 2 and 3, very soon to go across the DRS line. It will light up once again, and the Haas of LVA Brown looking for that podium as they come through the next right-hander. No move being made just yet, but just look at the string of cars here. Absolutely amazing scenes, and very soon I'm sure we're going to start to see some tangles and some battles.
Also, we are nearing the pit window as well, George. So that could also be on the table here. Maybe someone going for an undercut, and I'm looking at Brown, of course. Maybe just going for the undercut. I don't think he will go on this particular lap, but maybe on the next one. As Smasher just misjudged his braking point into turn 10 there, and Smasher is McCabe Sam is a lot closer now to Smasher. Brown just can't find a way through, which is very crucial, not only for him, but also for Antoine, because Antoine knows that he has to get that maybe 4.5, 5 second window just to be sure, because his pit box is quite early in the pits actually, and if you don't want to get held, you have to open that gap so you don't get undercutted. Of course, I mean, he has the luxury that he could just go for one more lap and defend from anything because he has that 4.1 second gap. But he just doesn't want to have that risk of getting held in the pits and then just being within that group once again. So 4.1 seconds the gap. I'm pretty sure he wants to open that up to 4.5 or even 5 seconds if he can.
Yeah, really impressive as well from Ronha to whittle his way up the field, of course, after that disaster at the first corner. Of course, he just regained control of his car, and now he's up into P12 after a very impressive recovery drive, albeit he was on the softs and many of the challengers were on harder tyres. It's certainly been an impressive rise through the ranks, of course, and it's never easy. You're almost up against stationary cars because the pace level, obviously very, very different, approximately over a second. I think 1.2 seconds can be the difference between utilising softs and hards, or more like a second, I would say. But it's going to be very interesting to say the least as we now witness LVA Brown now once again getting close to McCabe Sam. You get the feeling that maybe he might get a chance down this long straight heading into lap 8 or lap 9, should I say, of 29. Antoine still in front by approximately 4.2 seconds now. That gap is only increasing, folks, only increasing. And 2.5 tenths of a second is all that separates Brown and McCabe Sam as they now come round towards the final two bends of turn 14 and 15. The DRS will open up now once again, and as you can now see them peeling off, it looks like they're going to be making the first stops. In comes the domino effect, because in comes McCabe Sam, LVA Brown as well, and lots of changes throughout the field.
There will be changes now, yeah. Very interesting to see if someone will get held. I mean, there are some guys like Critch, who's in the last pit box there. Only 3 guys into the pits, which is kind of interesting to see. So one of them, McLaren Bob.
There's a move here being made. CRG Pinecone, incredible stuff heading round what is turn 4. Sensational stuff in the Alfa Romeo. And of course, just looking ahead, Viper made a move going down into turn 1. A very Yuki Tsunoda style overtake, leaving it late there heading into turn 1. Brilliant stuff indeed. Already we're seeing the dominoes fall, and indeed those on the hard tyres are going to start to feel the positive effects now, because obviously the soft tyres are now going to degrade and suffer under this very sandy circuit, as we're now seeing Pinecone once again on the rear of Viper. You get the feeling now Viper's going to open things up now against Perondi, who goes defensive instantly around turn 11 very shortly. DRS still being utilised there by Perondi, but he's feeling the pressure. Another lock-up there on the left-hand side as Viper now patiently waits as they round the next right-hander now at turn 12 before they reach turn 13 and the long straight. Another lock-up from Perondi, unable to hit the apex. The AlphaTauri goes in deep, and it's getting very, very close. In comes Pinecone, who now looks to overtake as well on Viper. This is going to be very close. The Williams gets in the way too. It's going to be very complicated here around the final couple of bends. Once again, wheel to wheel, this time between Viper and Perondi. Pinecone there as well though, and it's going to be between these two on the hard tyres. They all box. The AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo coming down into turn 1. Who is the Alpha Male? It is going to be that man indeed, Pinecone. Sensational manoeuvre, and I have to say he got it done when it counted. He takes the lead of the race, subject to pit stops. Sensational going into turn 1.
Beautiful stuff there by Pinecone. Yeah, just utilizing that ERS to perfection. I think he saw the light coming on at the back of the AlphaTauri, and he knows that he has the edge on the ERS, on the overtake button there. So that is good, but what is not so good is that Brown, I think, just spun coming out of turn 1. Don't know what happened there. Must have been something with any one of the guys who pitted. And just look at Critch, George. He's into net P3 at the moment. Antoine pitted. McCabe Sam 2.5 seconds behind. So he made the undercut stick. Critch made the undercut stick. And that is very, very crucial indeed. That those guys are in front of Smasher now, and now are released from maybe Smasher going a bit slow. So that could also be a factor which we have to consider. That Smasher was just a bit slower than all the other guys. Let's see if McCabe Sam can make some inroads on Antoine. He's 4.5 seconds behind us. Lily, he pitted once again. He pitted behind Antoine. So double stack for the Red Bull boys. And Lily is actually onto the soft tires. I don't know what that is all about. because usually you don't go 2 set of soft tires. But maybe he knows something we don't. So let's keep our eyes on him.
Yeah, indeed. And TR Limitless going for a very wide move. Dominic taking the inside line, but he locks up there, and that's going to be crucial on exit speed. Out of turn 1, just touches the wing of TRL Limitless there on the outset, heading into turn 3, as he now has DRS once again. He gets in the slipstream. Chance here at turn 4. The black arrow there moves in on the outside there, heading into turn 4 now. Takes the switch back once again. Can he get the better traction? No, the Renault becoming a little bit of a menace on the front of that Mercedes, and he can only imagine the frustration pouring from the forehead there of TRL Limitless as they come round towards the next right-hander. Leaves it a bit late. It opens the door potentially for Bobbits now, so there's a lot at stake here in P6.
Contact and the spin for Smasher. That was a very late braking maneuver there from Syrah. Sorry to cut across you there, but that was a very crucial one. I don't know what Syrah thought there. He wasn't even alongside Smasher, just tapping the back, and then Smasher, that resulted in him spinning and leaving the session as well. That was unfortunate. Syrah, coming home now or limping home with a damaged front wing, so also not what he wants to see. Now has Ronha behind, has Davison behind, so his teammate and Ronha, who's on a recovery drive. That was not how you're supposed to go into that turn 4. Very unfortunate for Smasher, who was looking quite good in this race, but that was a very, very late maneuver there from Syrah, and not how you want to approach turn 4 there. So very unfortunate for Smasher.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate drama here at Bahrain already, and Ronha just dispatching their Davison, and he's really flying at the moment, certainly on those hard tyres. As we now look further up as well, Florian looking to make some manoeuvres on 11 lap old hards, but just looking behind him, it won't be long before Antoine comes up. There's the Red Bull now, heading around the first couple of bends, but just look at Florian, 0.6 of a second back on Nico. And once again, we're seeing Bobbits now having a go at TRL Limitless. They're getting very tight, heading in through the winding section, that being turns 5, 6 and 7. And Mercedes had to put his best defensive helmet on there, actually manages to lock up the right tyres there, and so did Bobbits a little bit on the front right, as they head around turn 9 into turn 10. And Limitless will be looking to try and dispatch Dominic now, heading around turn 10 now, a little bit slippy there from Bobbits, and will once again maybe a chance to strike, heading up towards turn 11. Still Limitless holds on to his position of P6. In ahead of him is Dominic, who is in P5 as well. The two Renaults currently P3 and 5, and I see that again subject to pit stops, but they will I'd imagine try and attempt the soft strategy. So now witnessing them come right round this next right now, and Lily moves ahead of Critch as well, who's down in P13. But just look at this, we've got a tussle between Bobbits and Limitless again, once again within 0.4 of a second of each other as they go round the next right, heading into the home stretch to commence their lap 13 of 29. Limitless opts to just lean out of the slipstream slightly, and does so quite well indeed, heading down towards turn 1 once again, looking to try and garner the pace on Dominic. Remember, he was right behind that Renault earlier on, and all it takes is a couple of late breaks that can soon bring you back up to speed. You can imagine with all his experience and pace, he can utilise it to his best ability. DRS now available for all those drivers up there as well. But just looking behind, plenty going on. Critch trying to fight back against Lily, who just forfeited that P12 to the Red Bull. His teammate Antoine enjoying life, currently in P10. And you can now see, subject to pit stops being made, Antoine will retake the lead. And McCabe Sam moving up to second after his teammates, unfortunately, coming off the end of an unfortunate error or an unfortunate occurrence between him and Syrah himself after boxing onto the medium tyres. So let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, quick update also on Brown. I just read that his wheel apparently died, so device issues, which certainly you don't want to see in a race where you certainly are in contention for a solid podium, as now Lily overtakes McCabe Sam there on the back straight, which surely is no big deal because Lily has to pit once again, and McCabe Sam now may be able to use Lily there to reattach himself to the other Red Bull of Antoine, and that could be the one thing, the only opportunity McCabe Sam has to get back onto the back of Antoine, and but Antoine seems to be in a league of his own in this race at the moment. 3.5 seconds the gap to his teammate, today in Lily, and I don't really think that there's anyone who can snatch that win away. I hope I don't commentate this curse Antoine now, but snatched that win away from Antoine. Apart from maybe a certain German guy who's driving a certain German car, which is a Mercedes and a safety car. So that could also be the case. Let's hope it won't be, because Antoine is in a league of his own at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's absolutely loving life. Currently P10 on track, though when the pit stops do occur, he's getting closer and closer. 2.2 seconds behind Florian, and bear in mind, Antoine has got 10 laps younger tyres on, and that is really impressive, as we're now witnessing. McCabe Sam trying to tag back on Lily. Of course, soft tyres being applied to that Red Bull does give it the edge, and not shit into that P11 spot. He's really got to go to work on that car now and try and at least make use of that compound. He's got to burn through them, and that might mean that he takes a stint out on the mediums leading towards the end. We'll have to wait and see whether he's going to try a double soft strategy, which I can imagine he will do, as we're now witnessing McCabe Sam now around the next right, and Lily there getting a 3-second time penalty. So all the certainly the time that he's garnered ahead of McCabe Sam has just been taken away from him, so that means he's going to have to work extra hard to try and make use of those tyres. As we now look further up as well, Florian currently in P9. In the pit lane now goes Thierry Limitless as well as Bobet, and so does Nico as well. That allows Antoine up into P7, and Florian just ahead of him as well, who's in P6. So Mercedes currently P6 and 10, but look at Antoine now, very close now to the top end, as we're now witnessing Viper getting close to Pinecone as well for that P1 lead. That certainly is going to be a tangle and a half, as we're now witnessing them make their way around turn 8 before they reach turn 9. But obviously with pit stops applied now, Miles, you firmly expect Antoine to retake this lead without a hitch?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no issue about that. But let's see what especially Pinecone and Viper can do. I mean, they were just working together a bit. I mean, Viper was just letting himself drag along by Pinecone. Surely they are going into the pits at the end of this lap and fitting the medium tires, and just don't allow anyone to go for the undercut. I mean, Leopard is a good 3 seconds behind, so they don't have to worry about him, I think. Yeah, I mean, the undercut is quite severe, especially if you were on the hard tires fitting the medium tires and everyone else going one lap longer. Limitless in P13, I could see him come out in front of Dominic, and maybe even Sparks, as now Viper and Pinecone dive it in. Leopard is staying out, crucially. Sparks is staying out as well. Dominic is also staying out, so Dominic has to go one extra lap as he's going down the inside there. Offset Alfa Romeo. Brilliant move there from Dominic, but Sparks really nothing to defend with. He has the edge on ERS, but it seems like his car is not where he wants it to be.
No, absolutely, but he challenges back here, Sparks. Brilliant stuff there around turn 4. Very close there, wing to rear wing. What a switch back there from Dominic as they round turn 4, but once again, Sparks denies him. He says denied, no chance, and holds on to P2, but albeit, remember, has got a penalty applied, of course. There's only 3 cars with penalties currently on this field. That, of course, with Sparks, Lily, and, of course, Syrah. And we'll have to wait and see how this unfolds at the end of the race. Of course, Antoine currently in P4 now, 8 seconds back from Dominic, who's currently in P3 and battling with Sparks here on track as they make their way down towards turn 11. And as we look further back as well, still battles being whittled their way across this field. Viper and Pironi once again meeting in action here at Bahrain as they round turn 10 once again. That AlphaTauri is finding some very, very good pace indeed as they come down this semi-stretch down towards turn 11. And they've only just boxed onto the medium, so we'll have to see how this certainly pays off for the likes of Viper. It's going to be very interesting to see how those tyres feel at the end of this race. This track is so unforgiving to the tyre compounds here as we can now witness them head round the next right-hander, now heading down towards the final couple of bends at turn 14 and 15. Pironi could well be in trouble here. There's quite a gap between him and Pinecone, over a second out of the DRS line, and the tyres lock up for him heading round the final bend. And indeed a chance here maybe for Viper with the DRS utilised here as they come down past the paddock. The Viper strikes, he opens his fangs, he pounces here in the AlphaTauri down towards turn 1. Brilliant stuff indeed, comprehensive manoeuvre, and indeed makes his way up to P5, scintillating stuff there on the mediums. Can those medium tyres last till the end, Miles? That is the golden question.
Yeah, that is the golden question yet to be answered, and some guys already suggested that in chat that Pinecone is within reach of this race win, if he can maintain those tires, of course. Those medium tires, he will be faster than Critch. Crucially now, Critch is within that 1 second of McCabe Sam, so he will have the DRS. Pinecone has to work extra hard for getting into P3 and then P2 and then hunting down Antoine as well. But that was quite early for my liking, for the pit stops, going onto the medium tires, especially the likes of Limitless, Bobberts, Nico, and Lily, who went in very, very early for my liking onto the medium tires. Let's see if they can last till the end of this race. But Pinecone is in a very good position, but Viper is as well. 1 second he's down on Pinecone. Just, a ding-dong battle between, getting into that DRS of Pinecone or not making it into the DRS. Now he's in. Ronha gets a penalty in P8. Limitless will surely like to see that. He's in P9. Leopard is just behind, so Limitless also in a very good position to actually salvage some very, very good points from these races. Now Viper also sets the fastest lap of this race. Pinecone is just out of that 1 second window of Critch, and Critch surely wants to get in front of McCabe Sam as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and you can now see them making their way down towards turn 4, and the DRS now active for Viper as they come down towards that bend now. Certainly the medium tyres looking very tasty for Pinecone and Viper right now. Only 1 lap utilised on these with just over or just under 11 laps to go here at Bahrain. And Pinecone now is well within DRS striking distance of Critch as well, which is very interesting to see here, Miles. And I have to say that might have thrown a little bit of a twist to this race. They might have just really brought the strategy into play here. Look at Pinecone's pace, phenomenal. He's right on the rear of Critch now. Opportunity strike here for the Alfa Romeo as they come down towards turn 11, and as they get themselves really, really close. You can see that McCabe Sam leading this contingent of cars. Once again, we've got a bit of a DRS train here, but plenty of opportunities for battles as they round the next right-hander. You can now see McCabe Sam rounding this next right, and once again, here comes Critch in 3rd place as well. But look at Pinecone, takes the inside line, coming down towards the final 2 bends, turn 14 and turn 15 beckon. Here comes Pinecone down the inside, sneaks it through. Brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant. Smooth as silk, notches himself up onto the podium places, but in behind, he's not safe. Here comes Critch, takes the outside line heading into turn 1, holding the inside as Pinecone. Look at Viper in behind, looking to strike, but as they do, the Alfa Romeo holds on. He holds on to P3, brilliant stuff. Viper looking to come in too. It's a double maneuver here. Losing out his Critch. He loses out once again. Sensational stuff here. Pinecone and Viper on the medium tyres. Does this mean, could this mean that the medium tyres are the optimum strategy?
It could be that this is the best strategy. Pinecone really on the top of his game, trying to make it 2 out of 2 on this game here in Bahrain. He won last season here and wants to do that once again here today. But Viper is also looking very, very strong. We saw that last week. Very good recovery drive from him. And now, today, all the way on the back of Pinecone. I mean, Antoine probably knows that Pinecone and Viper are coming, picking up his pace. 4.5 seconds is the gap, with good 10 laps to go for Antoine and all the other guys. But Pinecone looking very, very strong at the moment. Viper just behind. Also not that... I mean, he could also be within reach of that race win, depending on how they use their ERS. Some guys even suggesting in chat, why is Pinecone using his ERS there? I mean, now he should be, because he wants to go into P2 there. Can Viper follow? No, he cannot. That could provide crucial if Pinecone just plays his cards right there. As Limitless now into P6, that is also very crucial. And Leopard following him through for P7. Viper now trying to get the better of McCabe Sam, who doesn't have to fight that at all. And brilliant move there from Viper. And yeah, George, it really is getting alive, this race now.
It's starting to pick up the pace now. We were waiting for this late on. Pinecone's got a lot of work to do though. 4.1 seconds, the differential between him and Antoine. Nothing separating them in P2 and 3 though. And Viper, known to be a very pacey character, looking ever so strong in P3, whittling down fastest laps earlier on in the race, which is going to prove very, very vital towards the end and could add him some added points as well, as they're now making their way down the stretch, leading down towards turn 11. It certainly is going to be a real tasty affair as they come round the next left. Still the Alfa Romeo in P2 of Pinecone there, Viper P3 for AlphaTauri, and these two have been pretty much joined at the hip for the last few laps at least, or certainly the last several laps, that's for sure. Both on medium tyres, utilising them to their best efforts. TRR Limitless have done the same as well. They're up into P6 and 7 as Leopard is joining him as well. That's an old battle that we like to see, of course, certainly here in league racing. In behind as well, Ronha has brought himself right up into the fray as well. What a recovery drive there from the Ferrari man after that real turbulent start that he had after he could not get into his car. But amazing stuff indeed as we now witness these two whittling their way down towards turn 1. Still, Pinecone holds on to that P2 advantage, but Viper just seems to have so much pace as they come down this stretch now, leading down towards turn 4. You can just see him there with the DRS open, making his way down. Pinecone with enough of a gap to hold on, at least for the time being. But the crucial moment is coming out of turn 10, of course. If you get a real lame exit coming out of that, it's really going to cost you as they come around this next sweeping bend. So just look at that camera shot as they make their way down towards turn 8. Sensational stuff here from the helicopter cameras as they're now making their way out on the outset now. McCabe Sam just waiting patiently for those medium tyres to die. He wants to utilise the hards effectively here, but you get the feeling that maybe the pace enough will get Viper and McCabe Sam to the end. It's all a question of sticking to the track, utilising the tyres to their best of ability. And there you can see Antoine there in the distance. Is there potential for an upset here, Miles?
It is, yeah, definitely. I mean, why not? Let's put it that way. Why not? I don't see the gap at the moment. I don't know if it's coming down, but it seems like it is. The gap was 3.8 when last time they crossed the line. Pinecone and Antoine. Let's see where it is now. I mean, Pinecone has basically no ERS to play with. Antoine has a good 40%. So let's wait and see what the gap is. 2.8, so 1 second. Pinecone just took away from Antoine. We are in for a fight here, and someone in chat, the World Online Racing account. Will Pinecone overtake off track? Let's hope not. I'm sure no one would like to see that, and a call from the FIA and saying you have to give that position back. Can Antoine hold that position? That is the big question at the moment, but Pinecone is looking very, very strong at the moment.
Yeah, and also we got a battle going on in behind. Leopard and TR Limitless having blows themselves. I mean, obviously both have utilised the same style of strategy as Pinecone and Viper, and it just seems to be that it's just so effective. And remember where Limitless started. Remember, he was down in P18, and that just shows his qualities here on track. But look at Leopard as well. He was part of that same contingent there towards the back that opted to sort of take their foot off the throttle slightly and hold on to those rear guard positions, utilising that longer strategy, should we say. And it certainly has paid off. Both of them on medium tyres and started to really close up on McCabe Sam Sinkrich as well. So we got a real togetherness happening here with over 7 laps remaining here at Bahrain. Absolutely amazing stuff. And I have to say, it's going to be a very much a grandstand finish, which is exactly what we want here, certainly when it comes to league racing. Leave your predictions in the live chat, folks. We want to hear from you. Who do you think has got this race in the bag? Is it going to be Pinecone, or will Antoine hang on? But as you can now see, that time differential, it's come down by 0.6 of a second, because I swear that was 2.8 before, Miles.
It was, definitely. And Pinecone's still faster, especially in that very, very interesting left-right uphill. Chicane, let's put it that way. And in that section, Pinecone is making up so much time. Not on the straights, of course, because Antoine has that edge, has the edge on the ERS at the moment. But Pinecone doing his best to, just take that time away from Antoine, especially where he has the advantage with the tires at the moment. But how long will that last? We're on lap 23. Those medium tires are 6 laps old. They're not over the cliff at the moment, but they will hit that one surely. Not that far into this race anymore. I mean, 23 out of 29 laps. I'm pretty sure he has to catch them within 2, maybe 3 laps, and then we will have a battle. Not only between 2 guys, but also Viper, who's being dragged along by Pinecone and just trying his best to save his ERS, but still has to maintain the 1 second gap, of course, to Pinecone. And Limitless is getting close, and Leopard is getting close to Critch and McCabe Sam. So that is also a battle we have to look out for. And if anything happens here at the front, they will salvage those positions that will be up for grabs.
Yeah, and just look at this as well. TR Limitless under pressure once again, Leopard has been so quick in the last lap. There's a move ahead as well. McCabe, Sam and Sinkrich coming down towards turn 1. There's Limitless in the back as well, looking to defend as they make their way down towards turn 1. Sinkrich holding on, but look at Leopard, brilliant! Around turn 1, overtakes the Mercedes of TRL Limitless. Amazing stuff indeed. Leopard holding on. Limitless now needs to utilise the DRS once again. He has got a little bit of DRS there at the bottom as they head around turn 4. Just needs to hold on, stay in the delta gap of Leopard there as well. But look at this, Pinecone 1.2 seconds away from Antoine with only 5 laps remaining, folks. It's the Grand Slam finish we've all been waiting for, so stay tuned, it's going to be a corker.
It is, definitely is. As now Ronha leaves the session once again. Oh, that's just such a shame. But we have to focus on what is happening here at the front as Pinecone is just out of the DRS of Antoine there. But surely he will have that once they just enter the DRS detection point. Maybe, because Pinecone was a lot stronger through this section of the track. But Antoine just found a bit of his pace. I mean, 32% for Antoine's ERS. Pinecone is basically on none. Just look at that. He even in the braking zone, he's just up to 10%. Not being able to salvage his battery like he wants to. Just moving out of the way there as Viper is just chilling behind. He's just waiting for the right opportunity. And there will be a fight going on once again between McCabe, Sam and Sinkrich for P4. Once again, diving it down the inside for McCabe. Sam Critch not really fighting that one, which is interesting to see. Leopard and Limitless just within striking reach, and Leopard now trying to do something, not really, just biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity, just like they are doing at the front.
They are indeed. Sinkrich getting very close to the back of McCabe Sam. You get the feeling there's going to be more moves being made heading between turns 10 and 11. And the Williams certainly seems to be very, very prominent here at Bahrain. Remember, you've got a podium last week at Australia. And once again, as we now look at the front, you can see there Pinecone, a second now away from Antoine, within DRS striking distance. That's all he needs. He needs the DRS, because if you remember, his ERS isn't looking very peachy right now, as here comes Sinkrich down the stretch here. Don't forget, Limitless is running behind Leopard. We've got a four-way dance pretty much for that P4 spot, and I've got to say, these may not be challenging for the top placings here today, but still, nonetheless, big points in the offing for all of these drivers. Leopard looking more dangerous here upon Sinkrich, who's looking very vulnerable as the Renault gets really close to that tail fin of that Williams. They head their way down towards turn 14 and 15. You get the feeling that there may be a chance here. Sinkrich locks up the right tyres as they come round towards the stretch now. The panic on the right hand side as once again they storm down this long semi-stretch, and in behind as well you can see Viper there in P3 getting closer there to Pinecone as Sinkrich opts for a defensive line. Leopard then smokes it on the inside, and that might cost him. And a look down on Sam McCabe there, who did not make the move, and Leopard, who had a chance, Sinkrich looked to lose his cool there as they head down towards turn 4. Sinkrich again at the mercy. Limitless watching it all unfold. Leopard goes in deep. Limitless there with a tank back. Amazing action here at Bahrain. Limitless there wheel to wheel with Leopard. Oh my word, a spin! A spin! Limitless off the track. He finds his way off the circuit. And I have to say that is really heartbreaking there. Some phenomenal racing action. And that has really cost TRL Limitless there. He's down into P11, P12 now as Florian, his teammate, goes by him. Never like to see something like that, but typical racing incident there between those two juggernauts.
Yeah, that is really heartbreaking for Limitless, but going side by side into the section of the track, that is always going to result in contact, but maybe in 1 of 10 occasions that is not going to happen. So that was quite unfortunate there for Limitless to be on the inside, because characteristics of this corner just let him go a bit more to the left, and then that was very unfortunate as I just thought that someone just went into the pits, which was not the case, certainly. Very heartbreaking there for Limitless, all the way in P12, and that was very close for Viper there on the back of Pinecone. And has Pinecone the DRS? No, he has not. Not even of the car, who is chilling just in there. That is Brown, who disconnected, of course. Antoine is crucially sitting on 2 warnings at the moment, George, and Pinecone now is within that 1 second, and if he has the edge still, and if he has the tire life, there's also a very important part. He can maybe challenge for this race victory just behind, and Viper also setting his eyes there once again. But Pinecone just stepped up his game, I think. Or Viper made a mistake. That could also be the case. But we now have a fight for the lead going on at the front between Antoine, Pinecone, and Viper.
Yeah, Pinecone has DRS as they make their way around turn 11, and that is going to be so crucial to this race result. Just look at this, they're so close up in the top three. Antoine still leading the charge, at least for now, following on from his absolutely incredible victory at Australia. Immediately dives in on the inside to break any kind of a slipstream as they make their way down towards turns 14 and 15 once again here in lap 27 to 29. This time, though, they'll be on lap 28, and this time, Pinecone has DRS down this long straight as he now makes his way past the paddock. You do see him there. He's utilised all his ERS, but he's still got the straight line speed here on the Red Bull. It has not got wings left here for Antoine as they come round turn one. Another lock up there from the Red Bull. It's getting closer and closer. He's within half a second now, is Pinecone, and this opens up the door potentially for some more drama here at the end of this Bahrain Grand Prix as they come down towards turn 4 now. Sensational as they round this next right-hander. Brilliant stuff. Takes a better line. Comes off the curb. Now only 3.5 tenths back. This is sensational scenes here at Bahrain, and you get the feeling as they now lead their way around this next right-hander. This is just the calm before the storm, folks. They're literally sat behind each other now. Do not count out Viper either. This is absolutely madness here at Bahrain. A late break there indeed from Pinecone could potentially open up the door yet again. Despite the lockup, he has DRS now heading down the stretch. He will not utilise it just yet, but as they round this next left-hander at turn 11, it's getting closer, and it's getting closer, Miles.
Yeah, as we're about to hit the final lap of this race, so that is Pinecone's opportunity to pounce. Let's see the ERS. Antoine just has the edge, 24% against 20 from Pinecone there. He just used a bit of ERS, which is quite odd to see. But now into this heavy braking zone once again, and now it's time for Pinecone to pounce. Has he a better exit? Oh, losing the back end there. Antoine going all the way to the right, and that could be even the chance of Pinecone over already before it even started. But Antoine defending on the inside. Pinecone fakes to the inside, goes to the outside, and now can he make that one stick, trying to switch back? Viper not that far behind as well, and now getting a second bite of the cherry there with the DRS, and not really able to salvage anything from that good exit, and from those tires going down the inside there. Contact between them, and Viper going around the outside once again, trying to fit his nose in, but can't really make that stick. Brilliant stuff from all three involved.
Yeah, absolutely turbulent scenes here in the final lap. Lap 29 is 29. Viper looking dangerous, waiting to strike, waiting to pounce. Pinecone in behind as well. Can he get struck by the Viper? Inside he comes into turn 9, now into turn 10. Late brake maneuver, slips in behind. Viper does it. He does it. He's in P2, but they're wheel to wheel. The DRS now becomes active. Chances here across the track. Antoine is safe for now. Viper strikes through. Lovely maneuver heading into turn 11. Consolidates his P2 for now, but look at Pinecone, still dangerous, literally right in the rear of that AlphaTauri as they round the next right-hander. Once again they touch, contact here as they make their way towards the final couple of bends of this Bahrain Grand Prix. Viper looking to get it done on the final lap. Can he dispatch Antoine before the line? Antoine looking to hold on. Grandstand finish here at Bahrain, sensational as they come up towards the line. Antoine, he will win the Bahrain Grand Prix here at Sakhir. Sensational. Viper with a last-ditch effort. It's Honda on Ps1 and 2, with both of them making their way up the field. Viper utilised an incredible strategy. So did Pinecone. Credit across the board. But Antoine, with his hard defiance, manages to hold on to that P1. And you get the feeling that that lap there, that crucial last lap where he defended going into turn 1, is what gave him that victory. It was certainly a superb bit of defending, Miles.
Yeah, once again managed to perfection there by Antoine, not only on the final lap but also throughout the whole race, of course, just managing his ERS, managing those tires until the last lap, because he surely knew that Pinecone and maybe Viper will get to him at some point in this race, and they got very, very close in the end. Pinecone, I think what was crucial was the exit out of the final corner on the penultimate lap. That was what broke his chances to actually go for the race victory here today, because he just had a little bit of oversteer, which gave Antoine the edge, which invited Viper to the party as well. And yeah, Pinecone, instead of gaining one position in the end, he lost one to Viper, but what a sensational finish to this race it was. Also credit to Leopard coming home in P5. And yeah, really sensational stuff here tonight.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Antoine is your race winner. And I have to say, he did it in cracking style, didn't he? I have to say, a Grand Slam finish, a lot different, a huge contrast to what we saw in Australia. And he takes victory here at Bahrain. Incredible stuff. Antoine is your winner for Red Bull. P2 goes to Viper, AlphaTauri, and the second string team can celebrate. P11 to P2. And once again, he's got to be a hat tip for driver of the day, I have to say, after that performance. Pinecone there in P3 after an incredible effort. And certainly did deserve maybe a little bit more after his sensational drive. McCabe Sam, P4, holding off LCR Leopard, who also in himself pulled off a driver of the day performance. Sink Critch there in P6, SSR Bobbitts as well, Perondi in P8, Nico P9, Davizin in P10, Ronha, an incredible fight back after what happened in the first lap, P11, Tiara Limitless after spinning, heading through the winding sections of turns 5 and 6, Darren in P12 after a great drive as well earlier on. Do not discount TRL Limitless. Syrah there in P13. Florian P14. CRG Smasher disaster earlier on. Even when he was in P2, he had a chance and he lost out. P15 is where he will remain. Of course, we lost LVA Brown earlier on as well. Sparks and a couple of DNFs. But I have to say, Miles, our minds were blown. A sensational drive. And I got to say, last lap, nothing left on the table. That's what we want to see at WOR, isn't it?
It definitely is, yeah, and yeah, just don't know what to say. I mean, we had a very breathtaking race yesterday in the real F1, and today was the same basically. And I mean, Antoine managed that to perfection, and I didn't think that those tires are going to last till the end of Pinecone and Viper there. But big credit to them. Also to all the other guys that pitted that early. I didn't think that was in any way possible for them to go to the end, but they managed that. And yeah, big credit to the top 3. I hope they will be joining us quite shortly, of course. Viper's already in the waiting room. We're just waiting for Antoine, who just said he has to take a bit of a breather. And to be honest, I can understand that. Probably same for Pinecone, as now Viper is in here. So over to you, George, for the interviews here tonight.
Thank you ever so much. That was a phenomenal race. And I'd like to give credit to all the drivers for bringing that to us, folks. It was absolutely brilliant. One of the drivers, I got to say, I was very excited to watch is this man who joins me in the commentary box. Viper, what an incredible race from yourself, utilising a reverse strategy. I have to say it was a risky business, but it paid off for you in the end. A great podium P2 after a great battle between you and Pinecone.
Yeah, that battle with Pinecone was that was great fun. Little disappointed not to get Antoine at the end, but yeah, the alternate strategy, like perfecting P11 in quali, making sure I got that perfect, lifting off as much as I needed to. Then yeah, that strategy paid off perfectly. Just a little bit of a shame that we couldn't get to Antoine in time. I was hoping that Pinecone would sort of go past Antoine first with a couple laps to go, then I'd follow through, and then maybe make it a bit easier for myself. But wasn't quite like that, and it came down to a bit of an intense last lap battle, which was great fun.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant for us commentators. Very much had us on the edge of our seats. I think certainly the people in the live chat or the viewers were certainly loving every bit of it. It was sensational stuff. I mean, a huge effort as well. Never easy, obviously, to cultivate a challenge for the win when you've obviously got someone in P2, but certainly an inspired bit of driving. Was there any sort of risk in your mind that this wouldn't pay off? Because obviously I know a lot of the drivers opt to slow down on their quali laps in order to be in the bottom 10. Would you see that the reverse strategy is definitely the more effective way?
Yeah, I'm particularly myself, I'm not great on tyre wear, so I knew that a soft to hard would not work very well for me. So the medium hard or hard medium would have had to be the only way for me. So P11 was always going to be the target. And yeah, I was lead runner of the alternate strat until the pit stops for the soft runners, and then Pinecone went through. And fair play to Pinecone, his pace in that second sector was just insane. I was struggling to keep with him.
Oh, it was brilliant to see, and both of you, to be fair. I mean, was it the case that you were just sitting back? Because obviously, I know that Pinecombe is utilising his ERS quite a bit. Were you just sitting in behind him, utilising the drag, the straight line speed, and just basically getting a tow so you could be part of the mix at the end with a good level of ERS?
Yeah, exactly that. I was hoping Pinecombe would just sort of drag me along to Antoine, hoping Pinecombe would go through first, and I'll be able to sort of nip my way through without having to use any ERS. So maybe I could have used it against Pinecombe at the end, but obviously with it coming right down to the wire, it didn't really turn out how I was sort of hoping for it to. But still, regardless of that, happy with happy with that last lap battle and P2 in the end.
Well, it was a great effort, I have to say, Viper, and certainly a great battle, one I'm sure we'll remember this season. So congratulations on a tremendous P2.
Thank you.
Well done. And we'll cross over to the man you were battling with, Pinecone. It just simply did not happen today. It looked like you were in with a chance. It got so close, but ended up getting down into P3. Was it a case that it simply just was just too tough heading into that last lap? I think certainly that defending from Antoine going into turn one, I think that was the crucial bit, wasn't it?
Am I coming through all right? I'm on a new headset.
Oh yeah, we can hear you fine, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's, to be honest, there's no excuses for that last lap. It was shambolic from me. You know, for how long I've been doing it, I've got to do better than that on the last lap. You know, the one time I need a good exit off the last corner and I'm clean through, and it's the worst exit I've got all race off the last corner, just big snap of oversteer, and then you saw Vibe was immediately right behind me, so that just made things complicated. Yeah, it just wasn't good enough for me, quite frankly. But, you know, these things happen. I mean, I look back to, you know, the last F1 Esports Challengers event, and I was good on the last lap. I put the car in the right place. You know, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. This time it didn't. Unfortunately, it was quite costly because there was, you know, that's 10 points that I don't have now and that other people do. So, but yeah, as I said, it can happen sometimes. I was always going to do the alternate strategy because, you know, I think as has been the case for months, my qualifying pace is nowhere. I'm probably, you know, 40th best on Xbox qualifying pace around here. It's just not good enough, but I just don't have the answer for quali pace on this game at the moment. Race pace, on the other hand, was really, really good in practice, especially on the hard tyre. I was so confident. So I knew if I just put it on, have a clean race, you know, I can make stuff happen, outpace the guys who pit for those hards and, you know, get up the field as I did, rejoining, 4th, 5th place, something like that. Dragged Viper with me, but yeah, that last lap just wasn't good enough. For the amount of pace that I had, I put myself in the position and then I just didn't happen. Just bottled it, quite frankly. Terrible exit, and then, you know, a bit of desync in the middle sector that offset Anton a bit and then held me up, and Viper got through. It just, you know, it wasn't my day. Doesn't go your way sometimes. This was one of those times, but it's just painful because, you know, I've not won for a season now. It's Bahrain last season, the last time I won in this bloody league. So yeah, there'll be other opportunities. So as I said, goes your way sometimes, doesn't go your way sometimes.
Well, you know, it was a great effort nonetheless, but you follow up a points performance in Australia last time out, and certainly finishing where you did will garner you another 15 points. So you certainly haven't come away empty-handed, but I suppose the one gutting thing is that you will not be coming home with that P1 that you surely must have thought that was in your grasp. Were you quite comfortable heading into the final lap, believing that you had this and it was certainly on a plate for you?
It feels like I've got nothing. You say I still have some points. It feels like I've got nothing at the moment, but like, yeah, it should have been, and it was. With how close I was, all I need to do is exit off the last corner, and I should have been clean through. I should have been in front of Anton going into turn one, able to cover, but just didn't get an exit. I lost probably a tenth, 2/10 on the exit, and then that's, you know, that's that car length too far back that I was, and I just couldn't get it through. So I was in the position. You know, as I said, my pace brought me up there. It got me up to challenge for the win, despite the fact that Anton had done a really good job out in front. I mean, you saw the gap he had to the other cars on his strategy. So I had the speed to do it. I was in the right position. I had, you know, 20% odd ERS, so I had that little bit extra just to, you know, enough to get down the front straight and to get ahead, but just didn't do it. Just not good enough for me, as I said. And, you know, it's, what is it? I've lost 10 points, and then Antoine's gained 7 odd. So, you know, that's 17 point swing. So it is quite, you know, it's quite costly. But these things happen. Got to go again.
Well, absolutely good attitude to have, nonetheless. But obviously, you've set yourself a foundation now. Certainly, with a podium, nonetheless, has got to be sweet. Heading into the Netherlands, what's your confidence levels like around Zandvoort?
I like the track, but I'm just not very good at it. I enjoy doing laps, but I think it's one of those tracks. I mean, everyone's quick at. Like I remember I've done it recently in F1 Esports Challengers for a couple months ago, so I've done quite a few laps around there, and it's going to be a really close qualifying session. Despite it being a tricky track, it always just is. Everyone's really close, and it's just about doing the lap on the day. But yeah, it's nice to get some sort of foundation. I mean, I've not had a win for a season. I've not even had a podium for a long time. It's been really, really bad. Just lack of raw speed. But today, typical race merchant stuff, 5-4 roll bar, lovely stuff. It was a chance to, get myself up there, and I did that. Yeah, I suppose just it's good to get something. I've not had decent points for a while, so it's something, I guess. But yeah, it's not what I wanted today at all.
Well, nevertheless, a great performance has garnered you P3, but we'll have to stroll on to Zandvoort. Hopefully you can go 2 better this time and land yourself a victory. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? But congratulations.
Not sure about that, but I'll give it a crack. Cheers.
Good man. We'll move on now to our Victor. I got to say, he's done one, he's done it twice. It's Antoine. Antoine, sensational victory. I have to say, you bossed it out there. It looked like you had the pace from the get-go off the start-finish line. Got to the end and it got a little bit risky. Were you ever at a situation where you thought that the victory might have been in doubt?
Hello, first of all, thank you for 2 in a row. That feels good. I knew that the alternate strat was quite OP, but I made my start wasn't ideal, to be fair, because I nearly lost track position to Sam, who made a perfect start, pretty much a perfect start. So it was crucial that I kept the track position to try to pull away, and that's what I had. So I had like 1.2 seconds gap, and the target was to pull away from the guy behind. I think it was Smasher and Sam behind. So, and as I am in the Red Bull, so I can be held in the pits. So it was crucial that I had like 4.5 second lead. The soft stint was pretty much perfect as the hard stint, but the alternate strategy was so OP. And when you had no one to drag behind or in front, it's pretty much impossible to, especially around here, to defend against those against Viper and Chris. It was one of the toughest victory I had in WOR, that's for sure. And yeah, that was a great battle with Viper and Chris. They did a good job, so GG to them, and so happy to win finally around Bahrain. That's pretty much payoff from last season after my mistake, to be fair. So I'm really happy to win.
No, it certainly is a perfect start. Obviously, 2 from 2, and obviously going through the season, that's exactly what you need to be doing, I suppose, through a long season to try and garner maximum points. Obviously, looking at it right now, we're off to Zandvoort next. What's your comfort levels like at the moment, heading into the Netherlands? Of course, you're sort of feeling your way around 3 very different tracks. Of course, we've had one like Australia, which is very flat. We've come here today to a fairly undulating circuit here in Bahrain, but of course it's quite slippy due to obviously the sandy circuit, and the curbs are slightly raised. With Zandvoort, you're sort of facing some tighter bends, a tighter circuit with also raised curbs. Does that throw a few spanners in the works? Because you seem to rely on certainly raw pace, don't you?
Yeah, Zandvoort is pretty much a traction track. It's gonna be tough. As Chris said, Pinecone, we practiced for it for Challenger. So, and I wasn't particularly quick in qualifying. That was pretty much my not my threat, but the other word. I don't have the word. Anyway, yeah, I'm feeling good in the race, but the track position is so crucial around here, so I need to work on my qualifying pace. I won't have that much time to practice for it because I won't be there for the weekend. I will be back home on Monday afternoon, so I will have maybe only 1 or 2 days and an afternoon in Monday. So it's gonna be crucial to be straight away on pace during practice. And yeah, Zandvoort is pretty much a DRS train, and it's gonna be crucial to save tires and ERS.
Well, you seem to be lighting things up in Xbox at the moment. I mean, do you have any clear set goals in mind when tackling the professional side of the game? Is there talks? Is there potential for maybe heading into the esports route as opposed to challenges? Would you take that next step and go for that professional drive?
Yep, that's the target. I'm not that young, to be fair. I'm 20, so I don't have that much time to do it. So I want to show my pace like at the end of this season. I want to win WOR this season in the best league on Xbox. So that's the target before switching to PC. And yeah, that's the target. I want the championship. The consistency is going to be crucial. And yeah, I want to show what I'm capable of before switching.
Well, I have to say, we look forward to seeing more of it. I have to say, as we go to the Netherlands, can you make it 3 from 3? I suppose that's the next question, so we'll have to wait and see and find out. But congratulations, Antoine. A superb victory and another 25 points to your locker. Well done.
Thank you.
And I got to say, a sensational day, Miles. It has been absolutely brilliant. We've enjoyed another great race. And I got to say, I look forward to Netherlands. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, qualifying will be crucial there because overtaking opportunities are kind of rare there. Probably only 1, maybe 2 if you get a good exit. But yeah, qualifying will be crucial, and I can't wait because I mean we haven't visited the Netherlands that many times on the F1 games, just once in WR last season, and yeah, I can't wait for it to start and. Let's hope we will see someone else winning a race, because of course, as a commentator, you don't want to see one guy running away with the championship altogether. No offense to Antoine, but to see someone else winning a race, I mean, also for the viewers, that should be a good one.
Oh, absolutely. We like a battle, of course, but I have to say, I think we were witness to something very special out there tonight, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch.
Of
Great
course,
to have
yeah.
a final lap battle is always a pleasure to watch, and once again, we were lucky. But I have to say, folks, a phenomenal race, and we look forward to our next one. It's going to be to the Netherlands. We're going to be heading there on April 5th, but don't forget as well, we're back again on Friday for some PS4 top tier action for technically the first race of the season on the PS4, because obviously we had the issues previously with the network heading into Australia. So we're heading to Bahrain for the PlayStation 4 Championship. That is the Tier 1 Championship on Friday. Same channel here on YouTube. I just want to say as well, folks, if you haven't done so already, please leave a like and subscribe to the World Online Racing YouTube channel. And obviously, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. My name is @GeorgeMorganTV. And you can also check out Miles. Miles, what is your social tag?
My social tag on Twitter is @TSRMiles, just one word. That's it.
Well, there you go. Check him out as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for checking us out here at World Online Racing. It's been a pleasure from all the Xbox community. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe.